I've got to ask you though, I mean, I get the feeling that quite often we go through these different phases of awareness. And it's a little bit like being a schoolboy with a teacher, and the teacher explains it to you, and you sort of know what he says, but you don't really know what exactly it is that you must go and do. You hear it. It's like a little bit like we watch rugby on TV, and the coaches and everyone talk about moving across the advantage line and getting gain ball, and holding on possession, and and so forth. Do the players understand that when the coach says to them, you must maintain possession? Or is it something that they just hear the coach say and then they run around the field?
No, I think they do understand that. Maybe in terms of converting and doing exactly what the coaches are saying, is that you'll understand there's quite a lot happening in the game. And most players, we've got a very young team, if I may refer to UWC. And average is 19, 20 years of age. That's the team that's playing in the first team now. So it happens that they do forget certain things. Maybe even the leadership in the team is not what we would want, or is actually not as matured as we'd like it to be. But we're learning through this. But there are shortcomings. But I believe that players do understand, and they always want to do what they're being told.
Well, the world certainly is focused on you now, so no more excuses. You're going to have the support, the money, the attention, and I'm sure it's going to fall into place for you. Kom ons kyk gou na die ander punte in die Premier Liga B, mense. Monderton het toe vir Franschhoek oor die naweek geklop 14-10. Strand United, en hier's nog 'n draw, het vir Makassar met hulle gelyk op gedra, Mr. H 20 elk.
Huge derby.
Nog een.
Fantastic result for both teams.
Silvertree het toe teen Laguna verloor, en Silverleaf 30-22 oor Van der Stel. In Division 1, Wraithbees United drawing with Hamadeus 19-all. Another draw, Mr. H.
Shows.
It just goes to show. I don't know what's going on here, but there's a lot of draws. If I was a Pakistani cricket player, I'd be suspicious, but luckily I'm not. Let's look at Division 2. Patty, we turn attention to you from Temperance. And this is, of course, where the wheels came off for Whistling Wheels.
Right.
34-20, nice result for you guys.
It was a good one, yes, JP. Our first team won, and in the second team won. Our third team unfortunately lost, but it was a good day, good rugby day on Saturday. As you know, the weather was perfect. It was a nice crowd. It was nice. It's nice to see the families out there again on Saturday. It was nice.
Is there big community support to Temperance?
Nice. Temperance have always had a good community base. However, the numbers are dwindling now again. So obviously, the rugby is attractive and things go well again. The families will come back again.
Winning rugby, yeah?
That's what you need.
That's why you need winning rugby.
Exactly, winning rugby.
Would you agree with that? You're now on the board of SA Rugby. You have to play winning rugby to cultivate rugby.
No, sure, definitely. Winning plays a big role, but also the type of rugby that you play. That's most important, attractive rugby.
Let's look at some of the other results then, folks, in Division 2. Rocklands beating Blue Jets 9 points to 8. Watsonia 6-5 over Blue Stars. All Saints 37-20 over Strand Pioneers, and Atlantis beating Manenberg 20 points to 18. In Division 3, Richmond 5, Gardens Tech 39. Huge victory there for Gardens Tech. 23 for Retreat over Bishop Lavis, and of course Cloutiesville going down to Violets. That's in Division 3. In Division 4, we look quickly at the results there. Thistle beating Progress 27-5. In Bikawi 8 over, or at least going down to Khayelitsha 21 points to 8. And in the Pole Division, and I know some of you asked us to talk about the Pole Division, even though you don't pick up Cape Town TV there, we know that you're able to go online to the Western Province Club Rugby website and get it there. And so let's take a quick look then at the Pole Division. Vineyards beating Windmill United 28 points to 24. Albions, a huge victory for them over Parel United, 62-0, enormous result there. Simondium going down to Young Standards 23-14. Allendale going down to Young Gardens 23-17. And Lower Paarl beating Violets. That's of course the Paarl Violets, not the local Violets, 28 points to 12. Now many of you will know that our sponsors on the show is of course Evox Advanced Nutrition. Evox is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers, which means that you as a club rugby player or as a Western Province schools rugby player are sponsored. If your administrator at your club or your coach still hasn't told you that, then you need to ask your administrator, why have you not told me that I'm not sponsored? But we'll get to the Evox in a moment. In the meantime, of course, our other primary sponsor here at Cape Rugby TV is the Leisure Group. They've got a fantastic set of hotels. You're right here in Cape Town. One of them is the Strand Towers. Now, we did put out in the SMS for you to SMS the word leisure to 32010, and you could have won yourself a night of accommodation at the Strand Towers, including bed and breakfast. Our winner then for this week is Denver Woodington. Congratulations, Denver. You win yourself a night of accommodation, bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. Now remember, folks, if you want to enter that competition and go in the weekly draw, all you need to do is SMS the word leisure to 32010. Standard rates apply. Gentlemen, it's time for us to look at the logs. We'll start off with Super League A then. At the top of the logs, it's Marty's, Vic's, UCT, Hamilton's bring up those top 4 points there. Mr. H, Super League A is of course important to us here in terms of the fact that we're heading now towards the first half of the season. And from the first half of the season, the winner of the first, or at least the top of the log first, goes to go play in the SA Club Champs.
That's right, that's right. So we are close to that. Marty's has got one more game to play, and the others have got 4 or 5, so there's a lot of things that can happen. But
Yeah.
I think, theoretically speaking, it's only Hamilton's that can still catch up with the Marty's.
Well, if we look at the logs there, Hamilton's has got quite a lot of games still in hand. They've only played 4 games this season. Vix has played 9 already. Marty's is playing 8. So we're really looking at the top 4 here. SK Warmers, would you say that they're out of the picture? They've already played 6 games. It's a bit tight for them, Pat?
Yeah.
A little bit tight for them there. I mean, Paddy, what do you do at this stage of the contest to make sure that you get through those last few games and get the points? I mean, I was watching David Toms last night playing in the Players' Championships, and all he needed to do was play safe golf, and he didn't do it. Is it time for, if you're in the top 4, to play safe rugby?
That's the best thing, to try and maintain your standard there, just to play safe rugby. That's the only thing.
You don't need to be scoring tries.
No fancy rugby, just do the basic. That's it.
In actual fact, I was thinking about this the other day in terms of the World Cup, and I know that there was criticism, and I know, Pat, you were the chairman of Western Province Rugby for a long time. In Mandisi, there's criticism so much for example, the Stormers players where we're not scoring tries in the beginning of the season. And then I thought back to the World Cup scenario, and I thought the winner of the World Cup is actually the team that didn't lose any games.
Yeah.
It's not the team that won a lot of games or scored a lot of tries. The winner of the World Cup was the team who didn't lose any games.
Sure.
So how do you not lose a game is basically you've got to have good defense.
Sure. But also, if you look at the points that were scored, it was all penalties in the World Cup final. And nobody moaned about that. It was a win.
That's right. So hopefully we go into the World Cup here. Peter de Villiers, in conjunction with Rassie Erasmus, of course, an innovative coach, together with what is certainly in the Super 15 structures, the most defensively comprehensive coach.
Definitely.
Well, let's hope for the best. We've got a long way to go before the World Cup, though, but I think that but DC, are you feeling the passion at UWC? Do the guys get behind the Stormers, the Springboks? Do they feel the vibe?
Yeah. I'll say yes to some extent. The supporters here and there.
And the rest are supporting the Crusaders.
I would say so, yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Well, every person has a right to his own. You can support whoever you want, 100%. But Mr. H, I must ask you about that, though. Was there a time in your history ever that you supported another team?
Yes.
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 Be honest.
And well, let's be honest now. Then, seeing as we're spilling our guts, yeah. And do you mind if I ask you who that team was?
The French team.
You supported the French?
Yes. Always.
Always.
I loved the way they played rugby.
And
it was close to the way we played rugby.
To becoming French yourself.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of a French look.
Moustache and all. Yeah.
And now, today?
I think things changed when at the World Cup final, I had my doubts. I was sitting next to Pat.
95.
Yeah, I was
95,
sitting next to him, and I was saying to him, my heart is with the Springboks, but I can't see them winning. And when Madiba walked out with the number 6 jersey, I told him, the Springboks is going to win this game. This is one of the most momentous occasions in rugby, or in sporting history, and it happened like that. You know, it was fantastic to be there. So, if that great man can don a Springbok jersey, embrace the Springbok emblem, who am I who had nothing? You know, I wasn't in jail for 27 years. Who are these other people that shout, you know, we don't support the Springboks? Take your leave from the greatest South African, and then you will learn something. That's all I want to say to them.
Do you think Mandisa, do you think we're going to get there? Do you think we're going to get to the point that every person in South Africa one day is going to support the Springboks?
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
You eat the, so you eat the elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, folks. We can't expect everybody to overnight. So we've got a terrible history in this country, and maybe just right now we don't quite deserve 100% full tick mark yet. We've still got a way to go.
It's a lot of work to work.
And a lot of people have the right to still be angry. They have the right to express themselves, and several different ways to do that. All right, fair enough. Let's move along then. In Super League A then, folks, Mighty's of course top of the log, followed by Vix, UCT, Hamiltons, and SK Warmers. In the bottom 5, we have False Bay, Villages, Durbel, Belhar, and Helderberg. Helderberg and Belhar, of course, going to have to work hard. They've got to stay to stay in Super League A. Mr. H, it's a derby match this weekend, of course. Belhar and Helderberg. Or would you say it's a derby match? But it's a tough match.
Yeah, it's a tough match.
Tough match.
They're both, you know.
All right, Super League B, Tigerberg's at the top, followed by Belleville, NNK, Brackenfell, and Penil Villages. Penil Villages, of course, on the same points at the moment as Brackenfell. Collegians brings up the bottom part of the table, followed by Hands and Hearts, Kales River, Primrose, and Young Peoples. In Premier League A, at the top we got Goodwood, St George's, Kraaifontein, Elsies River, and Hamlet. Mr. H, St George's got any chance of making it up from Premier League? Because your grandfather started that club.
A lot of, in all these, the bonus points counts a lot.
Yes.
And if you get the bonus points, you know, whether you win or lose, you still pick up bonus points. That in the end is going to count. And you must remember that we're only halfway through the first round. There's still a second round.
Yes.
And all the points add up. So there's a lot of rugby to be played still.
100%. Hamlet, Scott Steen, Rangers, Paul, Lunga bring up the next part of the bottom half of Premier League A. And at the bottom of the log in Premier League A, and you're going to have to work quite hard here, is Stelkor. We wish them the best of luck. In Premier League A, Solarian sitting top of the log, though, sharing top of the log spot with UWC. Medici, where are we going to go from here? UWC, as we chatted earlier on, have got all that experience to draw on now from having played in the Varsity Cup. Everybody's expecting big things from you guys. Do you think we're going to see a promotion this week, this year into Premier League A?
I think it is an objective of the coaches. It's an objective of the university that we should win this league, and we support the team with all we have. That we really want to win the league, and if you can, I think it will benefit us more if we can play in much more higher leagues. I know we do have a potential. The university does have a potential to attract more sponsors. It will be only better for us if we get promotion.
Well, I certainly hope so. This is the opportunity. You've got to grab it with both hands. Paddy, you'd agree with that, eh? When you have your chance, you have to take it. Yeah, totally.
I would like to advise them, you know, to just get hold of the number 1 of Solarians. I believe he comes from the Congo. He's an Easter meneer. He ran them.
Right, folks, well, we're not promoting player poaching on this show here, but so you didn't hear that here. But the Congo. All right, for one, Solarians.